Hello, beautiful people. Welcome or welcome back to the suite. My name is Tanya and I'm your host. Today we're going to be talking about Sister Wives Tell All Part 3 for Season 20. And in particular, I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the tell all right after my intro video. So while this intro video plays, if you guys would give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, I would really appreciate it. And I will see you guys in about 54 seconds. Since the beginning of times, beauty salons and barbershops have had a special place in the hearts of the industry professionals and the patrons alike. We can all remember trips to the shop, special moments made, conversations had, and lessons learned. From politics to pop culture, the latest gossip, love and relationships, and social movements. It's all talked about. Lifelong friendships are created, networks are built, ideas are shared, and politicians are made or broken. Our power is great. Our reach is wide. This is the place where we all shine, from the beginning to the end of times. Let's keep the conversation alive. Join me in my suite from your suite, and let's talk about the tea. Okay, welcome to the channel. Like I said, my name is Tanya and I'm your host of Sweet Tea. And here in the suite, we talk about all kinds of things. And today we're talking about Sister Wives, Season 20, Tell All Special, One-on-One Special with host Suki. Um, and this tell all starts off with David and Christine. David, of course, as we know, is Christine's new husband, and Christine is the third wife of Cody Brown, stars of Sister Wives on TLC. David says that he thinks it was a mental game. Cody's apology to Christine was a part of a mental game that he was playing with them. It was a mental game to say that he still loved Christine. Well, I don't know. I don't think it was a mental game. I have to disagree with David on that. I think that the apology tour was definitely for Cody. It was for him to relieve some of this anger that he was carrying and for him, in a way, to relieve his own conscience. I don't think that it had anything to do with him wanting to play a mental game with Christine. Personally, I don't think he cares that much about Christine to want to play a mental game with her. I think that he knew that he lied when he said that he didn't love Christine or that he never loved any of his other wives, not just Christine, but Mary and Janelle as well. And I think that even though he apologized for saying that he wasn't attracted to her, I don't necessarily think he was lying about that. Now that part could have been a mental game. That part could have been a way, because he knew how cruel that was, that could have really just been a way for him to um hopefully give her reassurance or to assure her that he was attracted to her, as to boost her own confidence, because he knew how much that hurt her. I don't necessarily believe that. So again, the apology was definitely for Cody. Um it was for Cody to be able to forgive himself. It was his way of, he asked forgiveness from them because he knows how important it is, um, for him to move on with his children. I think that was really what it was about. I don't think that he was in any way trying to get back with Christine. And I think that Christine and David made a big deal about it as if he was trying to get back with Christine. That clearly was not the case. That was actually kind of embarrassing as a viewer to watch them act as if Cody saying he loved Christine was so inappropriate. Um, like he was flirting with her or something. I didn't get that from it, and I think that they took that the wrong way, and I think that that once again showed, Christine's level of immaturity and inexperience with men, that she would think him apologizing to her and telling her that he actually did love her when he said that he didn't, was in any way meant to be inappropriate or flirtatious or anything like that. Um Robin, Sukiana kinda asked Robin about it. Robin, of course, is Cody's 4th and favorite wife, the only wife that he's currently married to after the first 3 wives left him, and Robin said that, Well, Christine and David thought that Robin should have been there at the conversation, as if it should have been a couple's date or something. They also begged Cody to go on a play date with them after the conversation, which I thought was really weird, especially if you thought he was inappropriate. Like, why are you begging him to go, um, whatever they did, race car racing and begging him damn near to go to Moab with them? Like that was weird. That was weird. Um, so they said that Robin should have been there. Christine thought that it was inappropriate. Like I said, I think that was embarrassing. Suki tells Robin what Christine said, and Robin says that that's exactly why Cody did it with David there, so that it wasn't inappropriate and so that there wasn't anything salacious about it. And I thought it was funny because Robin says, like, I don't know when else he would say it, like when else would he say it if he didn't say it in front of David? If that was inappropriate, then I couldn't imagine how David would have felt had he told Christine that without him being there. And that wasn't about David. That was strictly about Cody. That was about Cody wanting to apologize, about Cody asking for forgiveness for it, about Cody admitting that he lied when he said he did not love her, about Cody admitting that he was being very childish when he said that. He said it from a place of anger. And I think that coming from Cody, who many of us suspect as being a narcissist, that was probably harder for him to do than it would be for someone who did not have narcissistic personalities. Um, because it's hard for a narcissist to ever admit that they're wrong or to even give a genuine apology. And I do believe that he knew that he lied when he said that and that he was apologizing for lying pretty much because he knew that that lie hurt her. But they thought it was inappropriate. And like I said, I think that that just goes to show Christine's level of immaturity. It's almost like she wanted it to be inappropriate. Almost like she wanted him to be flirting with her. And let me tell you too, when he was telling her that stuff, when he was apologizing to her, she was eating it all up. If you guys believe in body language or know anything about body language, honey, she was leaning in when Cody was apologizing, and she was biting that bottom lip the same way she does when she's flirting with David. She was like, "Mhm." As he was talking to her, I was like, "Come on, Christine, straighten up. Straighten up your back. Sit up straight, Christine." And David, I believe, was feeling that chemistry and feeling that energy, and David got a little worried, and David was like, "Wait a minute here. What's going on? Like, is she giving him the same look she gives me? Is she buying this? Is she getting tingly inside?" I think that David noticed, recognized the look, and he got a little worried about it. And I think that that's when Christine jumped on the bandwagon of, "Oh, yes, it was totally inappropriate. It was totally inappropriate." Like, come on, Christine. Cody don't want you. He didn't want you when he was married to you. He don't want you now. Like, let's be real. Um, Suki asked Cody if she thought that they could be friends, as in Cody and David and Christine and Robin. And Cody says that he doesn't know if they can be friends, but he does think that it's important for them to be friendly because they share children together and grandchildren together. And that alone, regardless to what happened in their marriages, that alone binds them together forever. I don't care if you went and got a spiritual release. I don't care if your celestial kingdom is ruined or compromised or whatever. The fact that you guys are going to have children, the fact that you guys do have children and grandchildren and will have great grandchildren together and so on, that bonds and binds you all together more than anything that the church can say, okay? So you guys will be in each other's lives forever, so it is important that they're friendly. It does not mean they have to be friends, and it would be kind of hard. Well, I think that it could grow into a friendship, especially if they've all truly moved on. I mean, I don't see why not. I think it'd be great if they could be friends. I think most exes who are healthy mentally would like to be friends with their other, with the people who they share children with. So let's see. Cody says that he apologized to Janelle first because he thought she would be the easiest to apologize to. And so they flashed back to Cody's apology to Janelle. And honey, I could feel the sparks through the television. It was like pow, 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 pow. They clearly have a thing for each other. Cody and Janelle are hot for each other. And it was so clear when Cody was talking, um, when Cody was talking to Janelle and they were showing it was so funny because they were actually showing during the one-on-one, they were showing like in the corner, they had like a little picture of Mary's face. So she was getting to hear Cody's apology to Janelle and kind of how that went. And I'm sure in her mind, she probably was kind of comparing it to how her apology and Cody went. And it was so funny because she really looked emotionless. Like Mary looked like she was totally emotionless when she was watching it, like stone face. And it's funny because Cody calls Janelle the Teflon queen, but I believe Mary is more of the Teflon queen, at least facially. She had that same look on her face she had when they were out there at Coyote Pass getting ready to sign those papers a few episodes ago when they were finally selling Coyote Pass and Mary was looking at them like it was a showdown. Like, it's like you heard the Western music in the background, like doom, 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 doom. I was ready for them to like pull out a gun, like, you know, like that's how serious it looked. That's how serious her face looked and how that's the scowl on her face. It was just like a I don't know, and it could be maybe it's because of her recent weight loss too. Like she has really her face has lost all of its fullness. So it just kind of droops. And so when she's not making an expression, she totally has resting bitch face. I mean, it just is what it is. So when Janelle was and Cody were having their conversation, Mary is sitting there and she's just looking like just totally emotionless. Not that she had to have any emotions. I mean, it wasn't her apology, but it was just interesting to see. Okay. So she was totally emotionless. And it was really funny when you compared it to the way that Robin was looking when she was watching the apology. Honey, I think Robin was having those same feelings that David was having when he was watching Christine and Cody talk because Robin's face looked like she just looked like she was worried. She was like, the whole time they were talking, she was looking like, I'm not playing. Like, that's literally how she was looking. Go back and watch it. Go back and watch it. So it was so funny because I was thinking that Robin was thinking like they clearly have chemistry. They clearly have chemistry. And keep in mind, Cody and Janelle never complained about their lack of intimacy. That was Cody and Mary and Cody and Christine. Janelle wasn't complaining about lack of intimacy. And Cody wasn't complaining about not being attracted to Janelle. For some reason, honey, I think he is highly attracted to Janelle. And it could have something to do with the fact that Janelle was not a virgin when she came into the marriage. Janelle had already been married to Cody's brother, and there's no telling what her experience was like before then. So Cody, we know from the book that they wrote. Was it the book that they wrote? When he talked about oh, no, I think it was revealed on it might have been in the book where he said that he wasn't a virgin when he got married to Mary. He had told Janelle and Robin about that, but I don't think Christine and Mary were aware that he wasn't a virgin when they got married. He said that he had had a sexual experience in college. Now, he didn't say if that was with a woman or a man, but he said he had had a sexual experience. Maybe it was in high school. But anyway, so when Janelle came into Janelle and Cody clearly have chemistry. Like they have chemistry, they like each other, they feel each other, they want to hook up. And if Cody and if their kids wouldn't complain and act the fool about it and be done with their mom, I think Janelle would be sneaking over there getting her a little booty call. Her and Cody could definitely be friends with benefits. And I think Robin knew it. Robin knows it. And that's why Robin was looking all confused when and all worried when Cody was talking with Janelle. Christine, on the other hand, looked very confused. Christine looked like, oh my God, is this happening? Am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? Is she going to get back with him? Christine looked very confused. Keep in mind, Christine pretty much, I mean, she was very vocal about Janelle leaving Cody, getting a separation or divorcing Cody or whatever. She definitely pushed for it, and I think that she thought her and Janelle were gonna live their best single life, and then she went out there and got wifed up within a couple of months with David, and she's now worried that I think she looked worried that Janelle could possibly go back to Cody. The chemistry was definitely there. They definitely like each other. Um, Cody says, and I thought this was interesting, something that he said that was interesting was that, first of all, he said that he apologized to Janelle first because he thought she would be the easiest. They had all of their dealings, financial dealings settled. They had settled Coyote Pass, and he had squared away with her any other financial ties they had. So because of that, he thought she'd be the easiest person, and that's why he decided to start the tour with her. Understandable. But one of the other things that he said that he touched on in this tell all or in this one-on-one was that when they first got married, Janelle had a desire to be a safe space for him. And I thought that was very interesting because at the time he was already married to Mary. Janelle witnessed Cody and Mary as a couple for 3 years before she married Cody. So what was going on during those 3 years of Cody and Mary being a couple that gave Janelle the desire to be a safe space for Cody? You know what I'm saying? I thought that was very interesting. And if Mary had the same personality she has now, the same, attitude, pettiness, because that's what I think about her. She had all that then. What kind of a sister-in-law was she to Janelle? You know what I'm saying? What kind of a sister-in-law was she to Janelle while Janelle was married to her brother? And what did Janelle witness in their relationship that gave her the desire to be a safe space for Cody? I thought that was very interesting. So in my mind, because I'm a very visual person and I have a very bright imagination, and I love to people watch and then come up with my own scenarios about who they are, what they're doing, how they know each other, all that stuff. So when I think of that, when I heard that, I just pictured Mary being snappy at Cody, Mary being bossy, Mary being condescending, Mary being pretentious, as she often is during the show, Mary thinking she's funny when she's not, Mary being sarcastic, and not everybody likes sarcasm, Mary laughing at herself a lot at the expense of other or laughing at other people at their expense. Um, this is what I picture of Mary's personality and of the dynamic of her and Cody. And keep in mind too, Mary grew up in the faith. Cody didn't. So just as we've witnessed over the 20 seasons on the show, Mary likes to be the one to tell them how things should be because she had experience in the faith. I can only imagine the way that she was in the very beginning because Cody was brand new to it. So I imagine her being very much so in control in the relationship. And I imagine her not being very nice to Cody and not being very nice to Cody in front of people and not being very nice to other people either. And the fact that she had Cody, which was a hot commodity in their little community of people, because he was one of the very few that did not grow up there. So no one knew him and he wasn't related to them, at least not close relation. So he was a hot commodity. He went to public school. He was a wrestling champion. He had hot six-pack abs and great hair, and he liked to dance, and he's charismatic, and all those things that they described him as. I could imagine that Mary being married to Cody made her think she was hot shit. And I could imagine how she walked around at all the other girls and all the other ladies that were married to their third cousins and everything else, thinking she was hot shit because she had the new boy in town. And I could imagine that she was very possessive. And I mean, 3 years before they took on a second wife is kind of a long time, because when they got Janelle and then Christine, it was like back to back. So 3 years she had him by herself. In 3 years, she got used to being in a monogamous relationship, okay? But all the while knowing she was going to be the first of several wives. So she knew that. She came into it knowing that. She was brought up in that. Her dad had several wives. She's got like 100 siblings, you know? Not really, not 100, but I'm exaggerating, but y'all know what I mean. So, um, let me put my glasses back on. I was trying to be cute, but I can't see. Let's see. Janelle said that the apology was very sweet, and it was, some of the old nostalgia was definitely there. So I knew I wasn't tripping. I knew I was not tripping when I saw the clip, and I'm like, "They are hot for each other still." Like, who says that? Now that was inappropriate. She said that about somebody else's husband. Oh, some of the old nostalgia was definitely there. Like, really? That was inappropriate. But we all know Janelle has no boundaries when it comes to men. We know that. And she still believes in the faith. So, hey, Janelle say, I still believe, honey. I didn't denounce my religion. That was Christine. So I could still get back with my ex-husband. I thought that was hilarious. Um, let's see. Oh, Janelle says during this part too, I think Suki might have asked her about their connection and kind of how they got together. And Janelle said they both sort of pursued me, is what she said during this part. And I put a star next to that and I wrote the word contradiction because later on in the tell all, she says, "Oh no, I asked them to join their family." So in this part, she's saying they both sort of pursued her. And then she says that she asked to join their family later on. So I thought that was contradictory. Um Mary says that the earlier years were a challenge, and then she starts making excuses for it, like age. Well, we were all young and we didn't know what we were doing. And no, Mary, you grew up in this. You grew up in it. Like that it's very common for sisters to marry the same husband. Hell, a mother and daughter could marry the same man. So I don't understand why she's acting like it was so weird that her former sister-in-law, who was still a friend of the family, who had spent the last 3 years knowing her and Cody, would later become a part of her family. I mean, they what's those friends they have? The Johnstons, I think, or the Johnsons, where there's 2 sisters that are married to the same guy because one of the sisters' husbands passed away or something, then he married her too. Um, so come on, Mary, it ain't that weird. Like, it's not. It's not that weird. Like, stop acting like this was so strange. She said that so Suki kinda asked how they got together. This is the first time that we heard Mary on camera on a tell-all when she was able to be asked questions about it, say or go into the fact that Janelle was her former sister-in-law, or that Janelle is her former sister-in-law, that Janelle was once married to Mary's brother. So she kinda explains the backstory of that and how they came to know Janelle. And she said that they decided that it was a good match. They as in Janelle and Cody. Now, interestingly enough, I was reading an excerpt from their book recently where they talked about it. And just like on the tell all on the one-on-one, they said that they hung out, they were friends. They said that many of times before, but they kinda left out the part that Janelle was his former sister-in-law. Those of us who are really fans of the show, we knew that. But on the show, I think they might have talked about it once or twice, but it was very much so in a passing conversation sort of way. It wasn't talked about in depth. So when they decided to talk about it during the tell-all, this is the first time that Mary actually talked about it and expressed her feelings about it, and what she said was that it was weird. She said that Cody and Janelle decided that they were a good match. So in the excerpt of the book that I read, they talked about that. And they talked about how they would just always have these great conversations, okay? And I could imagine that. I could imagine you have Cody, this young guy, and Mary, this young lady, and they're married and they're young and they're trying to figure it out. Janelle is slightly older, has been married before, has worked in the workforce, and was not born and raised in the religion. So she has experience with the outside world, just as Cody does. So that alone could create a kinship between the two of them that Mary could not really relate to because she was raised in polygamy. So when Janelle and Cody are able to have conversations about things like public school and education and team sports, for instance, um, business, things like that. Mary can't really participate because she hasn't experienced any of those things. And I could totally see Cody pretending like he had, even if he hadn't, just because he wouldn't want to seem like he had. You know what I'm saying? So he and Janelle were able to have conversations about things that Mary was not having conversations with him about. Not only that, but I can totally see Janelle and Cody having a conversation and Mary feeling some kind of way about it and just walking away or not being involved in the conversation because how dare Janelle be sitting up here talking to my beautiful husband? You know what I'm saying? And then we all see how Mary is. Mary is very rarely a serious person. Just in regular conversation, she's like she's got 2 settings, pissed off or goofy. Where's the in between? Where is just the serious, real, in-depth conversation? She's either pissed off or goofy. And Janelle is neither of those things. So I can see where Janelle could feel something for Cody. Feel as in FILL, feel something for him that Mary couldn't, just conversation wise. Totally see it. So, but this is the part that I think bothers me the most about Mary's victimization of the situation because now during the tell-all, she talks about how weird it was for her sister-in-law to be interested in her husband, but she also says that they decided that they were a good fit. They talked about it. We talked about it. They prayed about it. We prayed about it, and that's just how it works. That's what she said. They thought they were a good fit. They talked about it. We talked about it. They prayed about it. We prayed about it. And that's just how it works. That's what she said. But she's also said on more than one occasion that if the wives are not on board with the new wife, there is no new wife. So at that time, she was the only wife. So all she had to do was say she wasn't cool with it. And so Suki asked her that, like, did you say that you were not okay with it? Did you say that? And she said, "Well, we talked about it." But she didn't say that she was not okay with it. And she said that she was expected to just endure, and her not being okay with it made her the bad guy. Because in their religion, they're supposed to be bigger than themselves. Their love is their love for others, for their sister wives, for their celestial kingdom, for God, should be bigger than their own jealousy or their own insecurities, right? So they were expected to endure to the end. So even if she did have a genuine concern or a genuine problem with Cody and Janelle being together, she was expected to just endure to the end because that's the expectation of their religion. So that's pretty much what she said about that. Um, but honestly, I still call BS on that because I feel like why would you not say anything? Allow her to marry your husband and then torture her for doing so. That's crazy to me. And if I was Janelle, like me and Mary, I don't know if I would have been able to do it. Like we probably would have come to blows at some point. Um, they talked about some of the issues in the beginning, and they talked about it's crazy because Mary wants to minimize everything that they said happened, and she wants to blame it on them being young and immature and say that it was so long ago she can't really remember. Well, Janelle remembers, and Janelle remembers the dish drainer and how you fussed about how she did the dishes or how she did the laundry. And she remembers how you made her feel. And Cody feels bad that he was not able to protect Janelle from you. And that's an awful place to be, an awful feeling to have that you could not or that you did not protect someone that you love. It's just not a good feeling to have. And I imagine that it caused a rift between Janelle and Cody in a way too, because here you are allowing this woman to be totally disrespectful to me, and I'm expected to just endure. And Cody admitted that in the beginning, his strategy was kind of like, y'all handle it. Like, I'm just going to stay out of it. You guys handle it. Y'all deal with it. And he said he was not good or comfortable being a referee. And I can completely understand that. But with Cody failed to realize that that's what he signed up for. You signed up to have more than one wife. And if you want peace in your home as a man and the head of the household, you're going to have to step in there sometimes and referee, be it between your wives or your children, your wives and your children and your children, or whatever the case is, Mr. Leader, Mr. Head of Household. You can't just step out and say, y'all take care of it. I mean, that's ludicrous. Come on, Cody. So, um, He's he uh, oh, I thought this was funny too. Um, he said that so Cody says that Mary and Janelle fought, but they fought differently, and that Mary was not afraid to fight. Mary's not afraid to get loud, scream, or scrap, and in front of anybody. That's what he said. We've seen this. As viewers of the show, we have seen this over and over again. We've seen Mary speak up for herself, be it angrily, be it through tears. We've seen her throw tantrums so she doesn't get her way. We've seen this. So this whole "I will not be silenced" thing is a joke to me. Like, I don't know who Mary thinks she's fooling or why she keeps trying to act like she's the shy, meek, sweet, abused wife. Like, that's some BS. If anything, you did the abusing and the sabotaging, if you want to get real about it. So I thought that was funny when he said that. Um, Suki asked them about emotional intimacy and if they thought that emotional intimacy was possible in plural marriage. Christine thought long about it or thought a while about it, and she said that she didn't know how it would be possible when you have more than one wife. Like, even if you're on vacation with your husband, you're having a good time, you know that he has another wife at home. So how can you truly be emotionally intimate? Um, but I do think that's what Christine said. I mean, I never lived it, so I can't say, yeah, they can do that in polygamy. I don't know. And I've never shared a man that I know of, or never wanted to, or volunteered to. So I don't know if somebody could be emotionally intimate with me as well as their other woman and I don't wanna ever share a man, let's be clear. Um, Robin says well, this was funny though. This was funny, and this is when I said, "Come on, Robin. Come on, Robin. Like, get Suki together, get all of them together, okay? They wanted you to come into the family, they wanna treat you like crap." And I'm not the biggest Robin fan. I can't stand the crying. I can't stand I can't stand how she played the whole COVID situation, but Robin, I liked when she said in this situation, in this particular clip. So Sookie asked her what she thought about the wife saying that it wasn't possible to have emotional intimacy in plural marriage. And Robin said, I don't care what they say. How about that? I don't really care what they think. She said, not to be rude, but I don't care. Like, I know that he's capable of being intimate emotionally. I don't care what they think. So I know that's right, Robin. I know that's right. So the second scene or the second after the first break, they had it started off with Cody saying that Mary was high maintenance, and I believe it. It seemed like everybody always had to cater to Mary's emotional needs or walk on eggshells around her. That's the way it seemed as a viewer. From her crying about wanting a house as big as theirs in Vegas and she should be allowed to have one, and it's not her fault that she doesn't have 7 kids to fill up a 7-bedroom house. It's not your fault, but the fact is you don't. That's a fact. So you're crying about it because you want the bigger house. Like, that is manipulative. I don't know. Um, so he says that Mary was high maintenance. He says that he loved Janelle, but Mary was more emotionally open. And Sookie asked him about that, and he really didn't explain it. But what I took from that was Mary was more vocal about her emotions. Mary was more willing to say, "I'm hurt. I need you. I need more time. I don't like this. I don't like that." Where Janelle was kind of just more passive. That's what I took from that. Cody said that when he starts to think about it, it makes his head spin. When he literally starts to think about his life with Mary and Janelle, it makes his head spin, and I can believe him. Difficulties were way more than in a regular marriage, is what he said. And clearly, that's the case. Number 1, you got 2 wives instead of 1. Number 2, your second wife is your first wife's ex-sister-in-law, so she knew her. So that's gonna be a problem. Number 3, your first wife is a know-it-all and bossy. Number 4, your second wife is more passive, yet she still made a pass at you, and you were her sister-in-law's husband. So, yeah, y'all got some issues. On top of that, Mary was struggling to have children or to conceive, and Janelle was able to. So, yeah, I would imagine that they had more problems than a normal marriage. Um, Mary says, well, did you think that maybe some of my issues stem from the fact that they wanted to get married on my birthday? And Cody's mom had to step in and tell them no. And they were like, "Oh, we can just celebrate another day." And I'm like, no, you can't. That's a big deal. Okay, I get it. That's what Mary said. Totally get it. I wouldn't like that either. But that's what happened. That's a fact. That's what happened. So that's one of the things that caused her to be ugly to Janelle, because they wanted to get married on her birthday. They didn't though. Like, even if they thought about it, even if they wanted to, tell them off, change the date, and let it go. What does that have to do with you making Janelle's life hell during the marriage? Another excuse. Take accountability. You were just mean because your sister-in-law married your husband, but that's the culture you grew up in, and that's the life you signed up for. It is what it is. Blame your mama and your daddy because they raised you in that. It's not Janelle's fault or Cody's fault. Uh, and that's when she goes into emotions being involved because Janelle was married to her brother. And then Mary goes on to kind of mock Janelle's first meeting with Cody. Like she told me that when she first met Cody, it was like she had seen him before, like she knew him before. And it was definitely sarcastic the way that Mary was explaining it. It was definitely a mocking. And it reminded me of the lightning bolt that it reminded me of the lightning bolt that Robin said that she had when she saw Cody. Remember that? Did you remember when they talked about that? The lightning bolt. I got this lightning bolt when I saw him. Remember when you got your lightning bolt? They all got a lightning bolt. So Mary was mocking Janelle's lightning bolt. And then Janelle revisits it and clarifies. Um, revisits the whole thing, how she's seen him, and she said he walked in, and she said she just felt like, "Oh, like there he is." Like it was someone she had seen before. He felt very familiar to her, and then she put that in the back of her head because she didn't know quite what to do with that. Okay? Um and then Mary goes on to say that Janelle shared with her once that when that she wanted her sons to have Cody's build. Now that bothered Mary. And that would have bothered me too, especially if she would have said it before we got married. But at the same time, she was single and you're a polygamist. So that could have just been her way of letting you know that she had an interest. How else would Cody have known? That's the life you signed up for. So that bothered Mary. So Janelle was like, I want my sons to have Cody's build. I mean, we see how Janelle is built. Janelle said, I got to give him some kind of chance. I can't marry nobody else around. I mean, you think about it. I don't know what Mary's brother looks like. I don't know. But the only thing pretty about Mary is her eyes. She has beautiful, striking blue eyes. But that is the only thing about Mary that is attractive. Her shape, she's shaped up pretty nicely. Like she doesn't have a flat butt or little bitty legs or anything like that. Um, she's got hips and, she's got a pretty big, little butt back there, which in some cultures is a great thing. Um, so her shape isn't bad. She's got beautiful eyes. But other than that, Mary, in my opinion, is not a very physically attractive woman. And so I don't know what her brother looks like, but even if her brother was built like her, which is thick naturally, and then you got Janelle who is short and round, like, she didn't wanna have no short, big booty kids, short, big booty boys. Like, she wanted to give him some kinda chance. So, she saw Cody, and she said, "I want my kids to be built like that. I don't wanna be built like me. So let me go ahead and get with him so I can at least give my children half a chance." And she did, and Janelle has some handsome boys. Very and especially that Hunter. The Hunter? No, is Hunter the yeah, Hunter, because Logan is the oldest one. He doesn't look like Cody either, and I don't know how soon after, Logan doesn't look anything like Cody. Let's be honest, and I'm not sure how long after they got married that Logan was born, and I don't know if they do DNA tests in the polygamous world, but if he was to get a DNA test on either any of his kids, that would be the one. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be messy, maybe a little bit, but I don't know. I'll be swabbing his cheek. So, um, mm, so that bothered Mary when she said she wanted her kids to have Cody's bill. And I put a note here. I said, I don't know why she was used to this. She was totally used to polygamy. Like I said before, she has friends who has sisters for wives. She's seen, I mean, they have mothers and daughters that marry the same man. Definitely cousins that marry the same man. Like, this is your ex-sister-in-law, so what? Like, that's not that uncommon in your religion, and you know that because you grew up in it. Not Janelle, not Cody, but you. So you knew the rules, and if it was inappropriate, you should have said something. Don't make their life hell about it afterwards. Like, that's just crazy to me. So, let's see. Christine and David talk polygamy. They show the clip of them talking about it, and Christine talked about being jealous during, her marriage to Cody. Um, and David seems to think that polygamous men want their wives to be jealous, and they want their wives to compete for them, and he says that he knows polygamists who told him, "You should join polygamy, you would really love it. The girls fight over you, and they compete for you." So, in David's mind, he thinks that Cody enjoyed them fighting for him or fighting over him. Um, Christine admits that she sees more sadness in polygamy than she does happiness. And I thought that was very interesting, especially because Christine spent years traveling with that group. What's it called? Prophetic Voices or something like that, promoting the lifestyle, defending polygamy, and advocating for polygamy. So I find it very interesting that she can now admit that she sees more sadness in polygamy than she sees happiness. And I wonder if she ever thinks about her role in that company and her and how she may have affected the lives of women all over that she spoke with at colleges, the teenagers that came to visit them. And she got paid to do that. She got paid to go out and spread this message that polygamy is okay and that it should be decriminalized and that there's nothing wrong with it. She got paid to do that. In fact, that's how the producers of the show even found them. They found them through that particular company that Christine was paid to be a spokesperson for. So I find it interesting that now she can admit that she saw more sadness in polygamy than she saw happiness. When you think about the relationships that she also severed during her time with Cody, the relationship with her mom when her mom left polygamy, her aunt, she's disowned a lot of people because she just knew that she was right and she just knew that they were living wrong. And she was judging them for leaving polygamy. And now she's a spokesperson for divorce. Interesting. Where's that apology, Christine? I think you should go on an apology tour. I think you should go and apologize to everyone. I think you should go revisit every campus that you visited, that you got paid to visit in your role with Prophetic Voices or whatever it was called, and that you went and you advocated for polygamy for. And you should go back and tell them how you really feel for free. Um, Mary finally gets real about the infertility. Mary finally gets real about the infertility. Um, and she talks about the fact that it would be different to watch your sisters have babies than it is to watch your husband have babies with other women. And I felt her on that. I truly did. And if you ask me, I believe that that's the core of all their issues. That was the core of all of Mary's issues. When she married Cody, she had no idea that she wasn't gonna be able to have as many children as she wanted to have, or that her body would allow her to have. She had no idea that was gonna be the case. So imagine, not only are you the first wife, but you're going about it like you're the queen bee and like you have gotten the creme de la creme of the boys and that are there to be offered, okay? And then you go 3 years without having a child, and you're making whoopee, you're trying to do it, trying to conceive, and month after month after month, you're not getting pregnant. Then he turns around and he marries this woman who Let's just forget the fact that she was her sister-in-law. He marries this woman that you know that he has a different kind of bond with, that he's able to have conversations with that he can't have with you, that they have a certain kind of connection, and it's a physical connection because Janelle is humble enough to tell Cody how great he is. And for a man like Cody, that feeds his ego. When he said that Janelle would use him for his six-pack abs and like a piece of meat, even though he said that with disdain, trust me when I tell you that turned him on. So, the fact that Janelle was so physically attracted to him and expressed that to not just him, but to the outside world, that fed his ego, and that made him more attracted to her. And then they're around there making babies and living that part of their life while Mary is struggling. So I could only imagine from the outside looking in what that felt like and how much that would have hardened her heart. So I empathize with her. And then he marries wife number 3, Christine, and they have a child before you have a child. So I could only imagine what that felt like to her. Then you finally have Mariah or Leon. You finally have your child. And then Janelle and Christine have baby number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and then 13. So you've had to endure 12 pregnancies other than your own. You've had to watch your husband fawn over another woman for 9, 10 months on 12 separate occasions while you desired the same experience. I can only imagine the deep internal hurt that must have caused to her. But what I cannot imagine is her taking that out on Janelle, Christine, their children, and not being mature enough or woman enough today to apologize for that. That's what I can't imagine. Because when we know better, we do better. When we know better, we do better, right? So, but not Mary. That didn't seem to be the case with Mary. Let's see. This was funny too. So when Sookie asked or told David that Janelle took issue with his description or his interpretation of plural marriage, because again, he said that the men in plural marriage want the women to compete for them. They get a kick out of that. Um, and Janelle said that she didn't appreciate him giving plural marriage such a broad stroke. She didn't appreciate him grouping the whole um idea of polygamy into one category. And I can understand that. I can understand that. So, but then David got a little defensive and he asked, and this was funny. David said, "Well, how did polygamy work out for her and her family?" And I was like, drop the mic. Drop the mic. Let me see if I can do something right there. When David said that, I said, "Okay, David. Oh, you messy, messy David." David said, "How did that work out for you and your family?" And I said, "He's got a point there. He's got a point there. He's got a point there, Janelle." And the fact that none of her kids wanna live polygamy either. I thought that was, interesting. I thought that was very interesting. I said, "Drop the mic. Drop the mic, drop the mic." Let's see, does this work? Oh, okay, that's the blue sound. That's not what I wanted to use. Okay. Clearly, I didn't do that right. Okay, what about explosion? There we go. There we go. Okay. It says drag and okay, add. We gonna do that. Explosion. So here we go. Let's try it again. So Davis asked Janelle. Janelle took issue with David saying that polygamy doesn't work and that the men in polygamy want the women to be competitive for them. And Janelle said that she didn't like that, and she didn't like that he said that, and that he painted um them with such a broad stroke. Okay. And so David says to her, "How did it work out for you and your family?" Oh, I like that. That was funny. I was like, "Drop the mic, David. David is petty, petty." And then Cody says, "Well, I don't know who David's talking about. David's only experience with polygamy is a bunch of construction workers." And David don't know jack sh David doesn't know jack shit about jack shit, and I thought I knew jack shit about polygamy, but I'm finding out that even the jack shit that I knew ain't really jack shit. That's pretty much what he said. So he's like, David thinks he knows what he's talking about, but he doesn't know. And even I don't know, and I lived it. Translation. That's what Cody meant. David thinks he knows, and he does not know. And even I don't know, and I lived it. So David makes another great point. I'm like, David, keep them coming. Keep them coming, David. David says, "Well, I don't have to give birth to know that it's hard. I can see that giving birth is hard." I said, "Go ahead, David." Drop the mic. That was funny to me. Let's see. David says that his friends said that they were in it because they liked the competition. Now, this part here was funny, y'all. Let's talk about the ego, Cody's ego. Okay. Start talking about Cody and his big ego. And all I could think about was Beyonce's song. Got a big ego. Such a big ego. Love is big ego. It's too much. He act like this, but he can back it up. So if Janelle knew that song, baby, she would be swerving and surfboarding, honey, all over Cody, honey, because I knew she loved it. Janelle said she liked that big ego. Um, and so when Suki asked Mary if she thought Cody had a big ego, Mary was like, "Yeah, he has a big ego, but he's also fun. He's charismatic." I said, "Yeah, but she didn't say that shit with Jen sitting right there, because Jen would have been like, and Mary would have been like, but when Jen wasn't there, baby, when Jen was not there, Mary was talking about Cody's she was talking about Cody's ego and his charismaticness, his charisma and him being fun and all of that. I'm like, "Uh-huh, go ahead and get it in before Jen get back. Get it in before Jen get back." Um, Janelle says they asked Janelle about Cody's ego, and Janelle says she starts laughing first. She was like, "It's okay. I mean, I don't mind it." You know? She was like this. Wish I had a fan. Janelle was like, I like it. It's okay with me. Ego? Oh, I like it. Janelle said it was okay with her, honey. She said the ego was a good thing. It was not her problem. And she said she never felt like she had to compete. Baby, Janelle wasn't competing because Janelle knew that her and Cody had it going on. Janelle knew that her and Cody had it going on. Janelle have Cody heart like, y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay. So Mary says that she didn't have to compete, but she did question what she needed to change about herself. And I think that she's referring to those last 10 years after the catfish situation where Cody kind of made her earn his love back. Remember that? He had her around there trying to earn his love back. And so she said that she felt like she questioned what she needed to change about herself. And I think that that's what she was referring to. Like, what do I need to do different to make him love me? You shouldn't have got with that catfish. That's what put her in a position of imbalanced power. When she got with that catfish, she did not want the marriage to end because she cheated. So she had to stay around long enough to make it his fault, in my opinion. Okay. Let's see. Talks about the baby. She talked about the babies and the fact that she said that she believed her sister-in-laws, her sister wives felt sorry for her, but she didn't know how empathetic they were about it. And personally, I feel like that's another example of Mary making herself the victim. What did you want them to do? Did you want them to not have kids because you were struggling? Did you want them to not be excited about being pregnant because you were struggling? Did you want them to not have their babies because you were struggling? What did you want them to do? And what could they have done differently? And since we cannot control what anybody else does, what could you have done differently? That needs to be the question. Um, and then Robin talks about the fact that they were sensitive to Mary's infertility issues, and that they even would go and tell her in private that they were pregnant before they would tell the whole group, as to give her time to absorb it and to come to grips with it. And Robin also volunteered to be Mary's surrogate because she wanted Mary to have the choice in having more kids. She didn't want the choice to be taken from her. And Mary turned her down. I mean, that's what happened. That's the truth. Cody even asked her if she wanted to do IVF. She didn't want to do that. So it's like you can't they couldn't win for losing. I don't know. And she made their life hell because of it. I think she should have got gone. Mary should have just left, in my opinion. Mary should have left, and I think she should have just divorced Cody and freed all of them of her. Let's see. This is one thing I thought was very big of Cody too, and of a narcissist, if we believe Cody to be a narcissist. Because again, it's very difficult for narcissistic people with narcissistic tendencies or behaviors, to admit that they're wrong, to admit any shortcomings, to apologize to anyone and mean it, okay? But one of the things that he said that I thought was very genuine in this tell all was he said that he admitted to being over his head in leadership that he could not handle. He was over his head in leadership that he could not handle. In other words, he was the leader of so many people and he could not handle it. So that's admitting his own weaknesses, his own faults. And so I thought that that was one of the realest things I've heard Cody say in 20 years. Okay. It wasn't blaming on anyone else. He said he was over his head in leadership and he could not handle it. That's what happened. And we saw the man freak out on national television. So the apology. Cody says he's sorry. This is the Cody and Mary apology. Cody and Mary apology. They go over Cody and Mary's apology, or Cody's apology to Mary. The apology starts off with, or the scene starts because they showed the flashback of Cody apologizing to Mary, and he's telling her that he's sorry um for things that he's done in the relationship, and she's looking at him like she didn't know what he was going to be saying, but she's when he said it, you could tell she started to soften. Her face was like, it wasn't the same blank face that she had when she was watching him apologize to Janelle, and it wasn't the same combat face that she had at the showdown at Coyote Pass. It was a softened face. And then he says, "I want to free you." And that from there she says, "I'm already free." And he says, "Well, if you are, then why do your friends keep talking shit about me?" Pretty much. Like, if you're over me and if you're free, why is it that every time I watch this show, you and your friend are talking crap about me? That doesn't sound like someone who was over me. Doesn't sound like someone who was healed. Same with Christine. So Cody wasn't wrong for calling that out. Okay. So when he said that, baby, that pissed Mary off. Mary says, uh, Mary says, "Well, my friends," she says, "Well, you can stop it, right?" She starts to, this is the first time she says, "I will not. You are going to hear me. My friends will protect me. People who love me will protect me, and that's what they're doing." And so Cody's like, "Okay, okay. Well, I want to apologize for the dark time and for the dark time in Vegas." And what he was referring to was the catfish situation. He was referring to that dark time when she reached out to the catfish and she had her little emotional affair, okay? And she says, "The dark time was because of you, Cody." Did Cody make you put that banana in your mouth, Mary? Did Cody make you leave all those sexually explicit text messages or voicemails to the catfish? Did Cody make you go to Disneyland to hang out with the catfish and get stood up? No, it was dark time because you were fooling with a catfish. And if it wouldn't have been a catfish, you would have divorced Cody. You would have been out of there, and your dark time would have been your courtship with your new boyfriend or your new husband. It was only a dark time because it turned out to be a catfish. Let's get real. Like, come on, Mary, take some responsibility. Take some accountability. You put that banana in your mouth. You did that, not Cody, not Robin, not Christine, not Janelle. You put the banana in your mouth and sent the picture to the catfish. But that's Cody's fault. She says, Mary says, "Damn good, a little bit of change." Uh, oh, oh. So after Mary watches the clip, after Mary watches her tell Cody how he's gonna listen to her, she will not be silenced. You will not silence me anymore. And she was only saying that because he was interrupting her when she was talking about Jen. So petty. And so then when they pan back to Mary and Sookie, Mary says, "Damn girl, that's a little bit of a change." Like she had just did something, honey. Mary was acting like she had told Cody the F off. Okay? Like she really told Cody the F off. And then she says, "That's a little bit of a change." No, it's not, Mary. No, it's not. You've been telling Cody off. Why are you acting like you're so meek and timid? You're not the shy wife. That's Robin. Hello? I was being sarcastic there. Robin isn't the shy wife either. But Mary damn sure isn't the shy wife. Mary, if anybody, had no problems over the course of her marriage advocating for herself and her daughter. She got the house she wanted. She got the wet bar she wanted. She got the big rental in Vegas she wanted. She got the big rental in Flagstaff she wanted. Her child got to go to the college she wanted to go to. Like, what are you talking about? That's the change, Mary. You speak up. You got the carriage house you wanted. What are you talking about? You went back to school when you wanted to go back to school. You worked part-time while Janelle was busting her butt. So what are you talking about, Mary? What are you talking about? We have all you think you're fooling us, but you're not. We have watched 20 seasons of you advocate for yourself. We have watched 20 seasons of you speak up and get what you wanted. The only thing that changed the dynamic of that was the catfish. And that was on YouTube. You had an affair with the catfish. You put the banana in your mouth. You sent the voicemails, you sent the text messages, you went to Disney World, and you were ready to leave Cody's ass. Let's be honest. You were ready to leave his ass. As Cody says, leave his ass. You thought we forgot? We didn't forget, Mary. Stop acting like you're the damsel in distress because you're not. Stop acting like you're a victim because you're not. If anything, you victimized. You victimized Janelle, you victimized Christine, and you attempted to use Robin and to gaslight Robin into thinking y'all are gonna be best friends, all to get in Cody's good graces and to piss Janelle and Christine off. And it backfired in your face and it ruined the entire family. Let's be honest. It's about time we start calling Mary out on her BS. Let's see here. Um, she says that she was surprised. She says she's done being walked all over emotionally by Cody. Cody don't care about you, Mary. I hope you are done because he's done with you. He's been done. You could have been done 10 years ago, but you chose to stay to try to get back in his good graces after your affair. Let's not forget that, Mary. We didn't forget. We did not forget. So she says she's done being walked all over by Cody and she was surprised by the apology. Okay. Janelle says that the apology felt sincere to her, and she said that she felt like his apology was sincere to Mary. And she also said that Mary can be very sharp with her words and that she was very sharp there. And she also said that she's not saying that Mary didn't have a right to be, but that she was. Robin says that they've always been that way. They've always cut each other off. They've always been tit for tat. They, as in Cody and Mary. And Christine says that Mary was awesome. Christine was watching it like Mary was her hero. She was watching it and she was like, oh, clutching her pearls. Like she didn't know what to do when she was watching Mary talk to Cody that way. Suki asked her if she thought she would ever talk to Cody that way. She said, no, I think I could. And I don't think Christine would either. If any of your wives was shy, it was Christine about speaking up for herself. If any of them was shy about speaking up for themselves, it was Christine. And Cody treated her like shit. Meanwhile, he kissed Mary's ass and she treated everybody like shit. That's usually how it goes though, right? So that was pretty much it, y'all. What do y'all think? I know some of y'all probably think I'm way off. Everybody seems to love Mary, love Christine. And I don't necessarily dislike Christine. I don't dislike Christine, but I don't care for Mary personally. I feel like Mary's just as big of a manipulator, just as vindictive, and just as narcissistic as Cody is. And she plays games too. The only difference is she got beat at her own game. So y'all let me know what y'all think. This video is an hour and 15 minutes long. I didn't think I was gonna go that long with it, but I did. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have not been to my channel before, if y'all got this to the end of this video, I sincerely thank you. I sincerely thank you. But please go ahead and subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up so that way you guys can be notified next time I upload, and I plan to upload. I'm gonna do a review on part 2 and part 1 as well. I'm gonna work my way back, and then during the off season, we may start back at episode 1 and just work our way up, and we can talk about it in hindsight now that we know what we know. That would be fun, right? What y'all think? Let me know in the comments, okay? I hope to see you guys later here in the suite. From my suite to your suite. Good night, beautiful people, and thank you so much for spending some time with me.